So you're here, I still have a little bit of a cold. That's just the deal in Scotland. It's cold, it's damp. My kid goes to nursery, she picks up stuff, brings it back to me and gives it to me and her mother, and it just kind of goes round and round and round and round and round. So not much I can do about it, but hopefully it doesn't put you off too much, this nasally kind of sound. In fact, you know what? A micro mist. Hopefully that helps. Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Scott-Thorne and I am a vocal coach based in Glasgow. Now if you'd like to meet and explore your voice a little more, you can find me on sstVocals.com. You can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter and Patreon, and I'll put the handles down below. And over there, over here, there above my hand. If you'd like to become a patron, you have got access to things like vocal harmony breakdowns, you can fast track reactions, you can become a reaction and I'll critique your singing and give you some pointers and send it back to just you. Loads of options, so if you want to get involved, please do. So somebody that I've reacted to in the past has recently gone on a TV show in America and has absolutely blown up my channel again. It was by far my most popular video anyway, and it's nearly now 1 million hits, which is like insane. So we're gonna go and revisit the song that he did from my last reaction, but in this different scenario. The pressure was real, people. The pressure was real to do this. Every second comment's just been like, when are you gonna do it? When are you gonna do it? When are you gonna do it? So we're gonna do it now. So I hope that's all good with you. We're gonna listen to Marcelito Pomoy, and he's gonna be doing The Prayer live on America's Got Talent, The Champions. So let's just go.
I pray you'll be alright.
That's his voice?
Watch us where we go.
Ooh.
And help us to be wise. In times when we don't know.
Okay, stopping early. I know how much you love that. So, really nice, really strong start, but he did come in a little bit late. Now, it was a very hard entrance to get right because it was just strings, no percussion. I doubt he would have a click track in his in-ears because they can be pretty distracting. So he basically had to gauge it from feeling, and it was only like a hair out, but still, lovely start. His voice is a little bit more delicate than it was the first time I heard it. So he's softened it up a touch, and also kind of dropping into the kind of lower part of his head voice, which has got this like lovely velvety round sound. I'm enjoying this. It's slightly different from the last time.
When shadows fill our day, lead us to a place, guide us with your grace. Give us faith so well beside.
It's funny. Now I see why people like watching these reactions, because it's funny watching folk go whoa. Beautiful, beautiful heavy sound now coming from his chest voice. The last time I was so shocked, thinking, oh my god, it's 2 languages and everything else, but it's an octave jump. So he's just going from the same note here to an octave above in his head voice. It doesn't make it any less impressive, but it is easier to jump to and from if you've got that bass note to go from. This is obviously a shortened version, I think, because the other one felt a bit longer than this. It sounded a little bit like they were kind of messing with the post-production there, because it sounded a lot kind of beefier in the male voice part, but then it kind of cut off halfway through and thinned out just before he jumped up. So I don't know whether this has kind of been touched in post, but it doesn't matter because the singing is the part that he is doing, and he's doing it really well. When he is in the male part of that song, he has got such wonderful control of his low larynx. It's just pulled right down, loads of body support, and it just gives this lovely clean sound. Same goes for the head voice, but it is just slightly tinnier, but that happens as you kind of go up into your head voice. Then your kind of overtones, they're all up there anyway, so it does just get a bit kind of thinner, but just beautiful.
Sogniamo un mondo senza più violenza, un mondo di giustizia e speranza, ognuno rilla mano sola vicino, simbolo di pace, di fraternità.
So another wee thing is, I noticed as he was going into that kind of big part there, his tongue is quite compressed in his mouth. That's an opera style, where it kind of balls up. It just kind of changes the shape of the kind of resonant chamber, and it gives that kind of big resonant sound. Now this is also the first time I've seen Marcelito singing while standing up, and you notice he is just fixed, like his feet have been stapled onto the floor. He is stable, his anchors are engaged, and they have to be, especially if you're doing those octave jumps constantly. So yeah, his technique is really good. I know he's self-taught and he's done it from kind of mimicking, but the only way that you can kind of mimic properly is if you are adopting the same vocal recipes that these singers use. So he has to have good anchoring, he has to have good breath support, he has to make sure that his false vocal folds are out of the road, so he's got that nice clean sound, and he's just absolutely smashing it. So let's keep going. Quiver of the jaw. Nice. Straight into vibrato.
Sento che ci salverò. Very impressive. That three-note ascension there, as he pulled up through those three notes, he developed a bigger, wider smile, and that just brightens up that tone and makes it sound really nice and sweet. Oh, I would never tire of listening to Marcelito. He just has such a lovely, clean sound. Like, his tone is always super straight, and then he'll kind of fall into a vibrato towards the end. He's just got an absolute clarity with his vocals that you don't find in everybody. I would like to kind of listen to some more and see if he can add in textures here and there, but for what he uses his voice for, which is this kind of double clara, or doble clara, I don't know how you pronounce it, but I've read it in the comments quite a few times. He's got it absolutely perfect. He keeps the tone very similar, so you can kind of jump in and out without having to really modify too much between. His breathing is perfect as well, so he doesn't take huge big scooping breaths between the lines, because that would kind of trip you up. You would either kind of fall behind the beat, or your vocal would just sound a little bit laboured. What he's doing is he's taking either tiny little breaths between just to kind of fill that little tiny space, or he's taking a larger breath at the beginning of the line and just kind of stretching it out over the two parts.
Another thing that I like about returning to a song that I've already heard is that I can kind of see what has developed between the years of point A and point B. One thing that I have noticed with this performance is that he's kind of softened everything up a touch just so that it blends a little bit nicer. Before it was very much like bang head voice, bang chest voice, and they were very different. Whereas with this one, he's kind of softened them up like a smidge either direction. So the head voice is kind of coming down a touch, kind of deepening slightly, just getting a bit richer, and the chest voice likely is pulling up a little bit, so they kind of meet a little bit better. It just rounds the performance out slightly and kind of helps to just kind of bridge the performance, bridge those registers, and just make an overall kind of smoother product, I suppose. So yeah, he's got so much talent, and I'm really glad that he's doing this show, because it's going to open him up to quite a large audience that hadn't heard him before. So well done, Marcelito. You absolutely deserve every plaudit that comes your way. So I hope you liked that reaction. If you did, please give it a like and a thumbs up down below. And if you'd like to see more from me, then hit subscribe, ring the bell, and anytime I have got new content, you will be the first to know. So I guess all that's left for me to say is thank you so much for joining me, and how will we buy this one? Should we try that 3-note thing? It's not going to sound good. I've got a cold, people. I've got cold! That's my excuse. Bye! I was just going to have to do sort of. Bye!